Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yestin. All praise and thanks be towards Allah, the Lord of all worlds, and peace and blessings towards our Prophet Muhammad. So today I'll be informing you a little bit about why I became Muslim. The last video you probably watched or that you've seen of me was the one about me being excited for Ramadan and why you should be excited for Ramadan. I'll be informing you the story why I became Muslim and a few tips and points that you can probably take up from your life in which you can use as well, you know. So pretty much I come from a very Catholic household, and it's very strict. Like everyone in my household and everyone in my past and my generations have went to Catholic school. They've been church studies, Bible studies, and they pretty much follow the Catholicism way, you know, the Catholic way. And unlike if you've grown up Muslim, you probably don't know much about Catholicism or Christianity. But Catholicism, to be specific, it's there's a system that's set in play in which you can pretty much become, it's steps to getting closer to God, technically, sort of. So you get baptism. Everyone knows about baptism. You get holy water and you cleanse your original sin, which is from Adam and Eve, peace be upon them. And then after that you have communion. Then you have confirmation, and after that's pretty much marriage and some other anointing of death and stuff like that. So when I grew up and I went to Catholic school on Sundays and all that, I pretty much got baptized after that. My parents baptized me when I was really young, and I wasn't pretty much conscious, you know. And from ever since a young age, I've always had questions, you know. I'm still a very curious person. I like asking questions. I like testing a lot of boundaries. I like experiencing a lot of stuff. And as a kid, especially in Catholic school on Sundays, you don't pretty much have the liberty of asking all these questions because there's a lot of things that are pretty much shunned upon. So after I got my communion, I've always been a kid to find things in literature, things of that nature that I can test, and always try relating it to my life. So as I got older and older, there was a lot much more questions that I really wanted to ask. And I know a few times I've asked the questions and I've gotten in pretty much a lot of trouble. And after church, it's like I only went to church and I didn't feel the connection pretty much because I just didn't understand a lot of stuff. I've tried to understand, you know. I did the research. I read the books. There were just questions in the Bible that just didn't suffice. There was just things that just didn't make sense. I just didn't have the connection. There was just a lot of things that were just not adding up. So at one point, I get into, this is my 8th grade, I have my confirmation, which is technically my last step into like marriage and of the further sacraments. So after I get my confirmation, what happens is I just stop going to church. The day right after I just stopped going to church, it's as if I denounced my religion. It's as if I lost all my guidance towards God, you know. I stopped trying, I stopped researching, I stopped asking those questions because for me, I just hit the top and I just didn't want anything anymore, you know. And it was pretty sad, actually. I lost pretty much all my faith. My mom would try dragging me to church and I didn't want to go. My father would try dragging me to church, I didn't want to go. My family started seeing me get piercings and stuff that was against the religion. And I started doing things that weren't controlled according to the religion and things like that. I deviated. And I get into high school and I've had a few thoughts run across my head because I always had the support system of my parents, but that still doesn't suffice the spiritual support system that you get from God. And I always had these questions. So at one point I get into high school and I'm like, maybe Catholicism isn't for me. Maybe I should do my research. Maybe another stem of Christianity or something. And I started experimenting and I started looking into stuff, and it was still not adding up. And a key factor into this is that the first friends I met in high school were Muslim. And one thing I really do a lot is that I ask a lot of questions and I try seeking Even if it's something that I technically might not be interested into, I try seeking information in which I can relate into my own life. So pretty much asked them a lot of questions. I've asked them questions about Ramadan. I've asked them questions about fasting. I asked them questions about the Sharia laws. I even asked them technical questions of, why does the media display Islam this way, and why does the Quran is this, and just specific words. And I was asking him or my friends about the halal, the haram, all that other stuff, the things that people contrarily don't know about, and the things that people only see in the media, they automatically presume. So as the years go by in high school, I started doing more and more research into Islam. I started getting a closer connection. I got my connection back to God. But the thing is, I didn't announce my religion. I wanted to be Muslim because that's the only religion to me that made sense. It's the book, the Quran, the Holy Quran is the only piece of literature that I understand and that relates to my life. There's moments in which I read the Quran and I cry. There's moments where I hear narrations and I cry. And that's never happened to me in my life. And once I get into my junior year of high school, I was very ignorant. I turned my cheek. I didn't want to believe that Islam was the right way. And once I started seeing the more realities and the answers to a lot of the stuff, I